Well, state and federal lawsuits have stopped Measure 114 from going into effect ever since voters passed it back in November. The big question, is it constitutional or not? A federal judge ruled that it is, but now it's up to a Harney County judge to decide. And that's what this week's trial is all about.
In November, the people of Oregon passed the Reduction of Gun Violence Act.
It's one of the toughest gun control laws in the nation. Measure 114 requires people to have a permit, a criminal background check, and take a training course in order to buy a gun. It also bans high-capacity magazines holding more than 10 rounds. It narrowly passed Oregon voters back in November.
This severely inhibits Oregonians from engaging in defense from imminent harm.
Large-capacity magazines increase casualties by allowing a shooter to continue firing a weapon for long periods of time.
The controversial measure has been on hold since November. State and federal lawsuits over its constitutionality have stopped it from going into effect. In July, a federal court judge ruled it was in fact constitutional, but an Oregon lawsuit in Harney County is still holding things up. That suit argues the law violates part of the Oregon Constitution that deals with the right to bear arms. This week's trial is meant to answer that question.
Plaintiffs contend that ballot measure 114 represents the most significant threat to that right Oregonians have faced in nearly 165 years.
Supporters of Measure 114 are also speaking up.
Gun violence is preventable. Common sense policies like Measure 114 save lives.
They argue the law will help curb gun violence and encourage gun safety.
Pop, 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 pop.
That's people like Jesse Quack, a Portland author who was shot in the eye 2 months ago while leaving a North Portland street fair.
I had just finished up a long day selling books at the Mississippi Street Fair, and as another author, my friend Mark and I were leaving, the car in front of us opened up fire, and I was struck by crossfire from this drive-by shooting in my left eye.
The Harney County judge has barred voices like hers from the courtroom this week. He tells the Oregonian that type of evidence is outside the scope of his work, since he will only be making a decision on if the measure, as written, is constitutional, not how it will be implemented.
Now, the trial was scheduled to last 6 days, but since the judge eliminated some of that testimony, it may end sooner. We also want to point out that the federal judge that ruled it constitutional earlier this summer did listen to the type of testimony that's been barred from this trial. David?